So on the first day of Black History Month, Shabuzi got on the Grammy stage and said that immigrants have built America. A vocal sentiment that I have heard many people share. I believe Mamdani also said it in one of his speeches. And as we are now going into our 100th celebration of Black History Month, I want people to remove that phrase from their minds, from their tongues, and out of their mouths. It is rude, it's disrespectful, and it actually negates the people who actually built this nation. It negates the overall genocide of the indigenous and the fight for land back because they indeed are the stewards of this land. And it completely negates the enslaved folks who actually built the infrastructure of the land that everybody has fled to. When you think of the verb build, that requires you to have a foundation. And while I believe that immigrants should have absolute pride in who it is that they are and what it is that they have endured to get to the United States of America, immigrants are indeed a contribution to an already built foundation. And that is not xenophobic, and that is not shade, that is just the reality. And I find it unfortunate in 2026 that folks regurgitate talking points that negates the people who actually built the United States of America. Because the reality is, for a lot of immigrant folks, the United States has been your green grass. But it is Black Americans that have maintained the lawn, and indigenous folks that have legitimately been fighting for a corner of a backyard that they already own.
A lot of people are talking about building America. A lot of people are saying that they did this, they did that. Well, immigrants are saying that they built America. Okay, they are saying that they were the ones who built America. They came into America and they built America and all and all. Why people are saying that's not true? Okay, people are saying that's not true. That's not what happened. That's not the full story. That's not how it went. All right. So people are saying if you did that, why would you leave your country? Why wouldn't you build your own country? You come to another person's country to build it, right? Why would you leave your own country to build another person's country? Why wouldn't you make your country better the same way, the same strength you put into other people's country? Why didn't you put it into your own country? Well, we're going to let the rest of the videos play out while we come back, read the comments and know what other people have to think. Please alright to mention the original creators of these videos. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your comments in the comment section because I like to know what you think. Let's watch the rest of the videos and then we come back. Let's watch.
No, honey. United States was not built by immigrants. The United States was built by settlers. Immigrants like me and maybe you, we came here when everything was done. When the roads were paved, when the infrastructure was done, when electricity was here. America was built by settlers. And the difference is the settlers came here to buried lands, to the plains of the Americas, where there was absolutely nothing. And they built cities, and they built the railways, and they built everything else. We are not the same as the settlers. We come here and we enjoy the privilege of being in the United States and take advantage of everything that the United States has to offer us. The settlers weren't offered anything. The settlers came here and built everything. So privileged people like me and you can come here in the United States and live and chase the American dream. We are not legal here, we are privileged to be here. So to say that the United States was built by immigrants is not true. Secondly, it's not stolen land, it's conquered land. There were wars, and wars were lost, and some won, and some lost. And now the people that lost are calling it, oh, you stole my land. No, you lost the war. That's it. There's nothing more to it. Everybody that had ever been in the military knows that the number one equation to know if you're winning the war is how much land you're conquering. That's it. You didn't got land stolen, the land was conquered because some people lost the war. And also, let's not forget the treaty between Texas and Mexico. So if you're an American, you should know that because it's part of your country's history.
America was built by immigrants. We hear this all the time, but is that really true? Look, I'm a legal immigrant, but I've seen such a shift in the mentality of my fellow immigrants, especially in the last 25 years. When we first got here, the focus was assimilation because we moved here for a reason, right? We left our home, our family, our friends, we left everything that we knew so that we could have a better life here. And that's because America could give us opportunities that our country of origin just couldn't. So our allegiance should be to this country country, right? Because we've chosen it. We should want this country to succeed, and we should work for this country's survival and betterment. Somehow we went from that perspective to my loyalty will always be with my country of origin. I shouldn't have to change, and I shouldn't have to learn the local language, and I should not have to assimilate. America was built by immigrants. America was built by people who took immense risks of leaving everything behind, leaving civilization behind, to brave dangerous seas, to overcome famine, disease, and to face the great unknown, to create something out of nothing. And more recently, to take what already existed and make it better. America has been built by pioneers, not by people who come here to fly the flag of their country of origin and live off of benefits.
You guys remember not too long ago, Zohran Mamdani made the same statements. Now, if we're being honest and we're being pedantic, to say America was a country built by immigrants solely is a complete rewriting of history, and it's disingenuous and erases the story of Black Americans in this country. One of the sentiments I've noticed online over the past couple of years is that everyone across the world associates America with immigration, and they think nothing is indigenous to America. Like Americans don't have food, Americans don't have culture, Americans don't have anything that is unique to here. And they don't do that for any of the other countries in the Americas, whether it be the Caribbean or South America. And I understand why that is. It's because American hegemony has ran the world for the last century. And with that, American culture and American story has become synonymous with pop culture. So people don't feel the need to divulge and dig deeper. There is no reality that anyone who is a descendant of those formerly enslaved Black Americans in America could be an immigrant. We are the product of forced migration to the New World, and we are one of the foundational Americans. I said previously that the only foundational Americans when this country was created are Black Americans, Native Americans, and those original European descendants. Anyone that came later is an immigrant. Immigration and immigration means leaving a country voluntarily to move and settle somewhere else, whether it be permanently or with their hope of returning home. None of the countries in Africa existed when the slave trade was going on. So no one in the Americas could be an immigrant by definition. We have been in America prior to the inception of America being a country. I say that to say that doesn't erase immigrants from the story of America, because those Chinese and Japanese immigrants that came here helped expanded America westward, and without them, that wouldn't have occurred. The subsequent European migration that happened through Ellis Island helped develop all the major cities like Philadelphia, Detroit, Chicago, New York. Without our Filipino and Caribbean aunties, we wouldn't have any nurses to take care of us. Without our Mexican and Central American compadres working in the farms, we wouldn't have access to food the way that we do have it, or tend your gardens, or tend your home. So there's so many things that add to the story of America, and immigrants are definitely at the core of the American system, the American story, and American history. But when we're telling that history, we have to tell it correctly, because no Black American will be offended by you saying immigrants definitely developed this country. They developed the country alongside Black people, but at its foundation, for centuries before immigrants came, Black people were here forcibly, free labor, forcibly. They helped develop these Fortune 500 companies, from cotton and tobacco farms, forcibly. All those other immigrants that came at least got paid. Whether they were paid pennies on a dollar, they were still paid, and they were never slaves. So when it comes to telling history correctly, especially during Black History Month, we have to say things correctly. And it's not a dig. I know what he meant, but a lot of people don't know what he meant, because I've seen comments saying, well, how are Black Americans not immigrants? You can't be immigrants in a country you were forced to come to. In the same way that Black Americans aren't immigrants, you would never call a Brazilian an immigrant, a Jamaican an immigrant, a Haitian an immigrant, a Dominican an immigrant. But for some reason, you guys can't seem to grasp that Black Americans are the same exact descendants of those who exist in the Caribbean and exists in South America. Happy Black History Month.
I would say immigrants built this country.
Here we go.
Actually, so this is for them, for all children of immigrants. This is also for those who came to this country in search of better opportunity, to be a part of a nation that promised freedom for all and equal opportunity to everyone willing to work for it. Thank you for bringing your culture, your music, your stories, and your traditions here. You give America color. I love y'all so much. Thank you.
Immigrants did not build the United States of America. Shabuzi talking about, oh, thank you for bringing your culture and your music. Shabuzi does country music. Country music was founded, discovered, and created by Black American people.
Shabuzi, from what I know, is an African man. I believe he's Nigerian. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I know for sure he's African. And over in Africa, why couldn't you pop in Africa? If y'all built this country, how did you know that there was any place to come to? You contradicted yourself, Shabuzi, by saying, oh, we were able to come here to seek better opportunity. That's because the country and the opportunity was already here because of Black Americans. I think it's so disrespectful. We already have to deal with whitewashing, the whitewashing of our history. A lot of our intellectual properties, our inventions, our ideas, and everything has been stolen by white people, and now we are subjected to it being stolen by immigrants. And I don't agree with this. And y'all want us to just sit down and let y'all do this and then holler out we're xenophobic when we say that we're separate from you all. And this is why. It's because y'all are trying to ethnically erase us. It's another form of colonization. And we're not going. We're not going. First, the mayor, Damdi, whoever from New York, got up there and said immigrants built New York City. Now Shabuzi is saying immigrants built this country. How did immigrants build this country? And then in the same breath, you say, we came here for better opportunity. If this was a docile land with nothing on it, no infrastructure, no buildings, no culture, nothing, why would you come here? Before you even wanted to travel here or even think of an American dream, you, Shabuzi, with your super pigmented skin, you had to see Black Americans already doing it and accomplishing the dream to give you something to even look forward to, as well as every other immigrant that is not just a straight up Caucasian. And y'all hijacking the civil rights movement, talking about, oh, civil rights, we deserve civil rights. First of all, if you are illegal, you cannot go to any other country and be an illegal citizen, an illegal immigrant, and then feel entitled and demand that the natives, the people that's on the land allow you to steal their culture, and while feed it back to them, sell it back to them, and make it seem like they have absolutely nothing to do with it. This is very disrespectful. And if y'all don't see what's happening, because we've been fed the lie that we need to be so super inclusive when these people, especially over on the continent of Africa, are very tribal. They fight with each other. A Yoruba cannot go to an Igbo and say, I created Igbo. I created the foods that y'all eat. I'm in control of the language. That's not happening. They kicking each other out of the African countries over in Africa. Go and do some research. But yet they come here and they try to discredit Black Americans. They try to discredit chattel slavery. They try to discredit the fact that us, along with some of the pilgrims before the Ellis Islanders even came over here, when the conquistadors and all of them, we were the ones that was the labor force. Black American people, indigenous American people, y'all was calling African American, whatever which way you want to turn the key, was the first labor force in the United States of America. We built all of this. Now, I'm not saying that y'all didn't come here and add, but if you walk into a house that's already built, did you build a house or did you maybe reinstall a light bulb?
Immigrants did not build America. Slaves and their descendants, Black Americans, built America, like quite literally with their hands, okay? Let me explain to you the issue with Shabuzi's Grammy speech. Let me start by saying that immigrants have greatly enriched this country, okay? We would not be where we are without them. However, they did not build America. And I think this is such an important distinction to make during Black History Month, because the comment, immigrants built America, is rooted in the erasure of Black contribution, okay? Specifically, Black American contribution, however involuntary it was. I understand that Shabuzi was coming from a good place when he said that immigrants built this country, but historically and factually, it is incorrect, baby. Chattel slavery built this country, and it is important to recognize that. People don't want to talk about slavery, but the reality is that slavery in the cotton economy is what gave America its legs, baby. There would be no America without slavery. The enrichment that is immigration did not come until significantly after slavery, right? Slavery dates back to the 1600s, girl, okay? All the way until 1865, where we get the Emancipation Proclamation. And even after this point, there were some Black people who were still being held captive as slaves because they just didn't get the news yet, girl, okay? So when you think about that, how long slavery spanned, okay? And the fact that we get ushered into Reconstruction and Jim Crow, and slaves are now repurposed as sharecroppers, right? or repurposed into roles in which they are only good for service. They are only good for, functional positions that help prop up the country, not actual careers, not anything actually profitable. Like literally, Black people simply migrated from slavery into something else until we get into the civil rights era. For the people who think that we're arguing semantics, not only is this an important distinction to make so that we are recounting American history and Black history accurately, but also because the suppression of Black history, the erasure of Black history, okay, is what leads to the repetition of these atrocities, not on Black bodies, but onto others. And this idea that Black history and American history, when it repeats, that it's going to repeat with the same people, it does not. It does not. And I think we're seeing a little bit of the proof, but that will never, ever, ever change the fact that the biggest and greatest group affected by American history, affected by the American plight, and that actually built America is Black American descendants of slaves.
Immigrants 100% built America, and we should absolutely be giving them credit for that. I could literally give you 1,000 reasons why immigrants built America. They're responsible for the stagnation of minimum wage because they prioritize their small business tax cuts for cross-racial labor solidarity, fracturing the working class and blocking universal wage hikes. They're the architectures of Jim Crow. While the elites might have designed it, they enforced it daily. It was relied on their complicity and participation. They're the reason why we don't have universal health care because they have historically aligned themselves with conservatives as a path to assimilation into whiteness. They're the reason why welfare programs have disappeared because they keep perpetuating the bootstrap myth. They're the reason why Black communities are over-policed because they keep perpetuating the model minority myth and they keep pathologizing Black American behavior. And they're the reason for ICE, which was primarily staffed and built by first and second generation immigrants from militarized cultures. They are the co-creators of white supremacy. They absolutely deserve credit for that. You have helped build the exact system in which you are complaining about today. And the only reason that you're complaining now is because the benefits that you got from upholding the system are drying up. And now all of a sudden you don't see this country as such a great place. But it was great when Black people were the only people who were being harmed by it. But now that that harm is crossing over to everyone, now all of a sudden America is a fascist country. Please. This is absolutely the country that you built. You are 100% right. Immigrants built America. Everything that's fucking wrong with it, you helped build. You have consistently worked against Black people's fight for social equality and justice. So yes, you built America. Congratulations. You built a fucking ticking time bomb, and I will absolutely give you credit for that.
So, like I said, a lot of people have written in the comment section about the whole thing about immigrants saying they built America, right? Even though people are saying this is not true, other people are saying this is true. It's more like a debate right now on social media. But people have written in the comment section, so let's head down to the comment section, read, and come back and explain this better. So, someone said America has always been shaped by immigrants, from the labor that built railroads and factories to the scientists, doctors, and entrepreneurs who fueled innovation. Newcomers play a major role, but it's also true that native born workers and enslaved people contributed enormously. It's not either or, it's a layered history. Okay, so when I said people say immigrants built America like it's controversial. The country literally calls itself a nation of immigrants. Waves came from Europe, Asia, Latin America, Africa, and each group faced discrimination at first. Over time, they became part of the mainstream that circled repeat. The next person said, I think the phrase is symbolized. It doesn't mean immigrants alone built the country. It means immigrants has always been part of the American history. Infrastructure, agriculture, industry, immigrants' labor was central in many of these sectors. Okay. Next person said, economically speaking, immigrants has contributed at every level, from farm workers to tech founders. Many major companies were started by immigrants or their children. That's not opinion. That's documented history. The next person said, I don't see why acknowledging immigrants' contribution bothers some people. Recognizing one group's role doesn't erase another. Multiple communities help shape the country. I see, like, it's okay for you to say this person helped out, but it's better when you include other people's efforts too. All right. As said, the phrase becomes political because immigration today is controversial, but historically, immigration has always fueled economical growth. The debate now is more about policy and borders than about whether immigrants historically contributed. All right. Next person said, there's a difference between saying immigrants built America and saying only immigrants built America. The first is historically supported. The second ignores everyone's sacrifice. I mean, it's okay for you to say immigrants helped, all right, but trying to cancel every other person's support, every other person's effort, it doesn't sit well. That's what this person is saying. Next person is saying every every generation of immigrants face backlash. The Irish were criticized, Italians were criticized, Chinese workers were excluded. Yet today their contributions are undeniable. History tends to often to soften what politics exaggerates. All right. The next person said, at the end of the day, America was built by workers, immigrants, native born citizens, enslaved people, entrepreneurs, farmers, soldiers. It's a collective story. Simplifying it into a slogan or either side misses the complicity. All right. This person is actually saying that it's okay for you to say that a lot of immigrants came in because it's not just the blacks, it's not just the Asians, not just the Chinese. A lot of them came in and they helped out. You understand? But please do not make it into just one person. Do not make it into just one community. It's okay for you to say these people help, but try to include every other person who also puts in their effort into making it what it is, into helping build it. All right. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this one. We've come to the end of this video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, drop your comments. Like, I always want to know what you guys think about every topic. Okay, please drop your comments in the comment section. All right, means the original creators of these videos. Please, guys, thank you so much for watching this one, and then I'll see you in the next. Bye.